Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going over the Dragonmaids. Kind of missed the mark with this one. The other two I was able to do before the set released, and that was what I was planning to do with this. But time gets ahead of me, and even though I had 4 months to really do this, I didn't. So we're doing it today. Because I like views, and the other two gave me good views. And I wasn't going to blow this one off, because this archetype I do have a good amount of stuff to say on. Anyways, so with that being said, I'll be going over the effects, and then going over my opinion, how I think they'll do, you know, meta impact, all that. That being said, enjoy the video. So I have the effects right here in front of me, so I'll be going over them hopefully pretty quickly. So, first we have Dragonmaid Laundry, or in the TCG, Laundry. Very smart, I know, takes a lot. A water level 2 dragon effect with 500 attack and 16 defense. This card is normal special summon. You can send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Start a battle phase. You can return this card to your hand, and if you do, special summon 1 level 7 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So probably the worst of them. Don't worry, it gets better from here. But yeah. Then there's Dragonmaid Nurse, a Earth level 2 dragon effect, 516. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 level 4 lower Dragonmaid monster in your graveyard, except itself. Special summon it. Then start a battle phase. You can return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon 1 level 7 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of Dragonmaid Nursery. Did I say the name first? Dragonmaid Nurse once per turn. So pretty good. This is the revive, and of course, if you saw the set prices, it's a bit below $30. Yeah. So then we have Dragonmaid Parla, or Parlor in the TCG, a wind level 3 dragon effect, 517. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 Dragonmaid card from your deck to your graveyard, except itself. Start a battle phase. You can return this card to your hand, and if you do, special summon 1 level 8 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of Dragonmaid Parlor once per turn. Also pretty good to dump. Kinda nice. It just doesn't really have too many targets, but you know, whatever. Then we have Dragonmaid Tillaroo, or Kitchen in the TCG. Fire level 3 dragon effect with 517. This card is normal special summon. Add 1 Dragonmaid monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. Then send 1 Dragonmaid monster from your hand to the grave. Start a battle phase. You can return this card to your hand. If you use special summon 1 level 8 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard, you can only use each effect of Dragonmaid Tillaroo once per turn. So that's the basic lineup of the level 2s and the 3 and the 4, I guess is the 4. So yeah, that's the lineup. They also have a bigger form, pretty much the dragon, and then the human-like form. So that was the human-like form. Honestly, okay, but it definitely needs a lot from the rest of the things. So, getting into them. Dragonmaid Floose in the OCG, I'm not even going to try and attempt the TCG one. A water level 7 dragon effect, 2616. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects while you control a fusion monster. You can only use the following effects of this card once per turn. You can discard this card, target 1 monster in either graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. At the end of the battle phase, you can return this card to your hand. If you do, special summon 1 level 2 monster from your hand. So, this seems okay. The part to shuffle something back into the deck is kinda interesting. It's either yours or your opponent's, it says, so I got that right. I'll check that again. Yeah. Either graveyard, so it's generic, surprisingly. It's kind of a hand trap. Then again, it's like, maybe you want DD Crow instead, but there may be a certain instance where it's like, I rather have, you know, this instead. So that's something to look into. Generally, this is one of the not as good ones from the set. Getting into the next one, it's Dragonmaid Erde, or Emus in the TCG. A Earth level 7 effect, Dragon, 2616. Can't be destroyed by card effects if you control a fusion monster. You can only use the following effects of this card once per turn. Quick effect, you discard this card, special 1 level 4 lower Dragonmaid from your hand. Pretty good. pretty good. It's almost like a double summon, so I can respect this. And at the end of the battle phase, you can return this card to hand. If you do, special summon a level 2 Dragonmaid monster from your hand. Again, same thing. It's okay. Then Dragonmaid Luft, or Lord Par, a wind level 8 dragon effect, 2717. Again, can't be destroyed by card effects while you control a fusion monster. You can discard this card, target one face-up monster on the field. The target's effects that activate on the field cannot be activated this turn. This is also generic, so I guess it, you know, it's kind of worse than other things, but, you know, it's not a quick effect, so it sucks, but, you know, for being staples within a generic archetype, you know, it's fine. It's honestly fine, because it may mean you don't have to play the other generic stuff, so. And at the end of the battle phase, you return this card to hand and special summon one level 3 Dragonmaid monster from your hand. Last one is Dragonmaid Flame, or Tinkect in the TCG. Flame would have been easier, but whatever. A fire level 8 dragon effect with 2717. And it also cannot be destroyed by card effects while you control a fusion monster. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. Quick effect, you can discard, then target one Dragonmaid monster you control gains 2000 attack until the end of this turn. So pretty much, it's kind of like that one good card in Dark Magician, but it doesn't have the nice search effect. It just has the battle trap effect, so, you know, it's comparable to other bad archetypes good cards, and it's worse, so, you know, that's the sad thing with a lot of these cards. But getting into the rest of it, end of battle phase, return this card to your hand, special summon one level 3 Dragonmaid monster from your hand. So, you know, they all give the bounce back, summoning a level 3 or level 2 depending on them. They all correspond in like a level different from each other, so yeah, that's how it works. Last thing is Dragonmaid Husky, or House in the TCG, a light level 9 dragon fusion effect, 3000 2000, one Dragonmaid monster plus one dragon monster. So you can do Dragonmaids, really whatever. Once per turn, during standby phase, you can target one other Dragonmaid monster you control. Special summon in defense position one dragon monster from your hand or graveyard whose levels is one higher or lower than that monster. When another face-up dragon monster you control returns to the hand, except during damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. It's okay, the bounces kinda, you know, have to do during the battle phase, so that's the part that's worse about it. Like, even Dream Mirrors, which kinda suck, if you can still get the thing to add to your hand and then like summon it from your hand, you get the pop at generally whatever point in time you want. It's just you have to set up your chain links correctly. This is like, no, you have to wait till battle phase for this to actually get the Dryden effect. Again, if this stays on field, you know, you'll get the pop recursively, but again, it's still very slow, so it's okay, but it just doesn't have any protection, which is why it kind of needs to be something where we'd want to summon constantly. Now, going into the spell and trap lineup, Dragonmaid's Uniform Change, a normal spell. Fusion summon one dragon fusion monster from your extract, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If this card is in your graveyard, target one Dragonmaid monster you control. Add this card to your hand, and if you do, return that monster to your hand. So, again, it can proc the fusion, so that's interesting, while also adding it to your hand to fusion summon again. But then again, you're likely not going to do this multiple times, just how the game works, but, you know, it's an okay fusion, hand or field, fine, you know, it's okay. And that's, you can only use each effect of it once per turn. Then there's Dragonmaid's Hospitality, a normal spell. Special summon one Dragonmaid monster from hand or grave in defense position. Then you can send one Dragonmaid monster from your deck to grave with the same attribute, but a different level. So pretty much, you can send the counterpart to what it is, and summon it from hand or grave, so that's pretty good. The extra resource is kind of nice. It's something they didn't have to add in, but, you know, we got a monster reborn, so everything gets it, but, you know, it's cool. I can like this card. Next, there's Dragonmaid's Reception, a continuous spell. Monsters you control gain 100 attack for each Dragonmaid monster you control. Yikes. If you control 2 or more Dragonmaid monsters, you can target 1 Dragonmaid card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Reception once per turn. If this card is sent to a graveyard, this turn your opponent cannot target Dragonmaid monsters you control with card effects. Very weak protection. I guess you could technically pop your own card to get this protection if you feel your field to be blown apart by target pop. Like if you feel you're going to get wrecked by spirals for some reason, you may want to pop this and you're like, alright, tough, you ain't going to get me today. This card's pretty bad. Then, quick play spell, Dragonmaid Send Off. Target 1 Dragonmaid monster you control. Special summon 1 Dragonmaid monster with a different name from your hand in defense position. If you do, return the target monster to your hand. Also, special summon monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of the next turn. It will activate Send Off once per turn. So, protection until the next turn, honestly pretty nice because that's how long you kind of need it to last in this type of game. So, you know, you gotta like that. Again, you need resources to hand to do this. If you top deck this, you're kind of screwed, but you know, whatever. It's one of the okay cards within the set. Next, Dragonmaid Relaxation, Continuous Trap. You can target 1 Dragonmaid monster you control and activate 1 of these effects. Return it to hand. If you do, add Dragonmaid monster from deck to your hand, except itself. Or, return it to hand, and if you do, return 1 spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. This is not even good on the Burning Abyss monster that gets it free when it's sent to a graveyard. It's free, and no one wants to play it still. Why is this? Having to bounce your own card for the you could have got a resource, and it's like, yeah, the second effect sucks. It really could have been something else. But, you know, you get what you get, and you don't get that upset, because this is Dragonmaids. You already know. So, those are all the card effects I have to go over. Now, onto my analysis. Now to my overall analysis of the archetype. Is it going to find a bit of the meta? No. No. This archetype is probably the worst within the whole set. When it was first confirmed back when all the, you know, Guardragon stuff was happening, it had a bit of promise, you know? Maybe you can excel the dragon combo a bit better, but when people tested it, it really wasn't that good. It really just did the Guardragon combo with being also Dragonmaids. Like, that was literally it. It was only, you know, doing the, you know, Guardragon combo, but with waifus. Like, that was really all this archetype really was. And then they hit Argapane, and it's like, oh, we actually have to use a spell to get the fusion monster out? Oh, yikes. Probably don't want to do that. Again, it doesn't put enough stuff on the field. It doesn't swarm, doesn't get enough advantage. Like, again, there's only 2 searches. One is a trap, and one is a monster where you can only activate it once per turn. And compared to other things, like, I know Spirals is crazy, but they go, like, plus 12 in, like, a turn where they get a hand that's playable. And that just means getting a bunch of Spiral monsters. This, if you got a bunch of Dragonmaid monsters, you're probably screwed. I'd rather have like 3 lost wins and 2 judgments than actually have to play Dragonmaids. Not trying to roast this archetype awfully, but there isn't as much promise as I saw within the other ones. With Process Slayer, you know, they had a OTK ability in a sense, and it was hard to get over the monster, kind of. In like 2 years ago, it would have been a actually really good contender, I would say. But of course, Borrelsword's a thing, and it doesn't care. Borrelsword just don't care about that monster at all, and it could just get over it. Then with Generates, they were super dependent on one card, which I guess it's not the same for this. They're not dependent on stuff. But like, they're depending on one card, but when they got that card and they got some okay stuff to work with in their hand, they can actually put up some fight. Like, I can honestly see weak meta decks actually not be able to break through the board. Like, they had a negate that they could kind of just summon from hand. Like, they were able to summon a thing that was like a Monster Reborn and like Hand Summoner by attributing their tokens that got summoned off. put those things, and then those contribute to do their effects, which could be somewhat disruptive to you, the opponent. And honestly, it wasn't bad. Like, they had like a roar, they had a negate, they had a revive too, like just a simple revive, so they can like have stuff. Like, if they kept going, they would actually get good and kind of win those games, even if they gave too much card advantage. This is very generic and just doesn't offer too much to table. It feels like it is trying to be very meta compatible, but you know, it just doesn't have a lot of stuff to it, a lot of substance that really makes it good. Like, let's say Cosmos, like, they have a bunch of bouncing and tagging out features, and that offers so much. It offered, you know, protections. Like, if they got targeted, they could just say, well, I'll just banish it, and you can't get rid of it now because I got rid of it myself. This, it's like, you have to wait for a certain time to do that. It doesn't, you know, have quick effects on everything, which would have been nice and neat to do. Like, be able to make this more combo-centric, because this doesn't show any bit of like stun potential at all. Like, it's something where you do want to play a good amount of monsters in, so you don't want to play a whole back row set, but you also want it to be very combo-y, and they didn't offer too much to make it so combos, so you're kind of left with having to set up a bunch of generic things to do it. And that's why it got abused for Guardragons, because if they open the right hand, you know, they could actually go for the combo with a short amount of cards in deck. So it could be like a substitute engine for if you didn't get the original Guardragon engine. But it just doesn't offer too much, unlike, you know, other things. There isn't too much of a fight it can put up. And overall, it doesn't have a clear win condition. It doesn't have a big beatdown OTK potential either. It's like, it doesn't have too much going for it, and that's probably the part that just made it. They didn't push it in a direction. That was probably what killed this archetype the most. Like, they had, hey, this can do certain combos with each other, but it only goes on for like a few seconds and boom, we're done. We're ending on like maybe 2 monsters. Maybe make Heroic Seal. I don't know. Like, it's a dragon deck, but it doesn't fit along with other dragons too. It's like, just didn't have a lot going for it, so I don't really see it getting any play in big tournaments and doing well. Honestly, I could say that for Gladiator Beast, but then they like got top at a Pro Tour event. I'm like, okay. Again, it also has a bit of mystery and surprise, but it doesn't have unique stuff like other decks do. It doesn't have unique outs to things like other, you know, rogue decks end up having. So that's other big weakness for it. And then also, it is an expensive deck to purchase. If this is something you just want to play for fun, that's great. But doing that in real life is just bad, because Kitchen's 30, the Nurse is like 30, you're paying now 180 for 6 cards. The rest of it's cheap, sure, but that much? You're paying at least like 200 to play a really bad deck. Like, you could probably spend 200 elsewhere or a little bit more to get like a lot of stuff. Like, meta is really cheap. You can probably do it for under 200. Even other rogue decks like that may get more support on like this deck can, you know, be under this price. Like, Marincesses look really expensive, but they're really dropping down in price, and they're probably under 200 to pick up the whole deck. And that I would choose to go over Dragonmaids, because they're even more splashable and they're more powerful. There's just a lot more options compared to this deck. So that's probably the biggest killer for this deck being really good. But that's my opinion on the archetype. If they end up wrecking the YCS scene, I don't know. I'd probably say this shit and then I go to YCS Hartford, thank the Lord that exists now, and I just get wrecked by it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you liked, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you did enjoy. I also have a Discord server where I post updates about what's happening, give previews to what content I'll be releasing, and make exclusive videos for you guys. So if you have the time, you can go check that out, link in the description. Thank you.